ASU gets off to a good start in the 2013 season, knocking off Sac State 55-0, kind of picking off where they left off last year, winning big in the Craft Fight Hunger Bowl. I'm Jared Cohen of ProsToPreps.com, Chris Karpman, ASUDevils.com, and Chris, Taylor Kelly was a story tonight. Had a great season last year. Looks like he picked up right where he left off to start this season.
Yeah, so fluid, accurate, got the ball out really on time, I thought. There's more weapons in the receiving game, so when you have that at your disposal, you're going to look a lot better. But I think he made a lot of improvements throughout the last year with his footwork, with his ability to get the ball out on time. As I said, his mechanics were really crisp. I thought he had a lot of zing with his throws. And there were a lot of things that just Sacramento State weren't able to defend. A lot of the zone read option type stuff where they had DBs coming down thinking it was a run play. Kelly pulled it. He has great timing and the ability to get the ball out to his receivers. You had guys like Chris Coyle and Demarie Nelson running wild through the middle of the defense, and that's just not a good recipe for an opponent.
And one of the things that helps in that situation is targets and different targets to hit on. You hit on a few of those names. That was kind of a storyline tonight too, because the lack of depth at wide receiver last season was an issue, and Chris Coyle and running backs leading the teams in receptions was an issue. But this year that wasn't really, or this game, it wasn't really the case.
Exactly. When you look at last season, there was more catches by the running backs and the tight ends. 3 players, Coyle, Foster, Grice, than all the other receivers put together on the whole team. First half of this game, we had 8 guys who had catches for ASU. There was twice as many receiver catches. Rick Smith looks much improved. He's one of the better guys on the offense now as a skill position guy. Jalen Strong looked like the guy that we expected he was going to be. Jared really was dynamic, caught balls in the end zone, was draped, and really made some big plays. So definitely there's more options there at Kelly's disposal, which is going to help him make him look better. And ultimately that's going to open up the offense for a lot of other things that they're able to do, especially with how dynamic they are at tight end now.
And let's go to the other side of the ball, Chris. The defense gave up an 8-minute drive to start the game, 15, 16, 17 plays, resulted in a blocked field goal. After that, they didn't allow another first down for the rest of the half. But there was sort of a hiccup with the defense tonight. Chris Young had to leave the game with an apparent injury. Don't know how serious it is, but how much of a factor could that be going forward?
Right, it looked like Asahan Iraborg ran into him on a play where they're trying to both get to the reception. And I think that's one of the things you have to look at avoiding in games like this. You can't have injuries in games that you're going to win by 40 or 50 points. Chris Young is the most important person in the back 7 of that defense because he's able to play that will position or slide over to play spur. Depending on the type of opponent, they are not very stable at linebacker with the other guys. And so you have to cross your fingers if you're an ASU fan, because you want to make sure that you have your best opportunity to beat a team like Wisconsin coming in here, and losing a guy like that really hampers your defensive ability.
So there you have it, game 1 in the books. Now comes the hefty load. Wisconsin, Notre Dame, big games on the docket, including Stanford as well for ASU moving forward now that game 1 is in the books. Chris Karpman, Jared Cohen, make sure you check out coverage leading up to the Wisconsin game on both ProsToPreps.com and ASUDevils.com.